This is such a well-known experience that it should be hackneyed stand-up by now, but what it actually should be is a thing of the past. I managed to be awake at the time my GP surgery accepts appointment phone calls. Any later and they say to call back at 8 a.m. I struggle with 8 a.m. I'm naturally nocturnal and 8 a.m. is going to be very painful for me to the level that it impairs my ability to communicate. Still, it's a phone-only service and we have to call it 8. If I call at 7:59, the auto message says they're not open yet. If I call at 8 o'clock, the auto message says all their lines are full, which evidences many people in the same position conned into a race. You can't even join the queue when all the lines are full. If I call at 8:02, the auto message says I'm 15th in the queue. The queue must have a maximum, and it might be 15 as I don't remember a bigger number. They do have a callback feature. If you're far enough down the queue, you can ask it to call you back. When I tried this, it seemed to fail and just left me a message that said I should call again and rejoin the queue. That's probably because of the poor phone signal I get at home. It's not their fault, but it's nothing I can help. When I got this message, I tried again and was 15th in the queue, got the call back this time where they informed me there are no appointments available and I should contact as soon as possible the next 8 a.m. There ought to be an online system. There used to be something, but they left it to disrepair. It was called patient access, and patient is an understatement and access is an overstatement. This is all the datafication of GPs. There are apparently no appointments because none have been released by a system. I guess GPs declare their upcoming availability schedule on a daily or weekly basis, and it goes into a special digital lockbox until the DLC goes live at 8 a.m. The artificial structure of a release time of appointments credits something inhuman with authority, and they've chosen to reward those who can wake up and handle phone calls. I think a real-time structure would be more convenient. It'd be just as digital a system as they currently want, but actually convenient. It'd unsegment their working day from sorting loads of appointments at the start, then not really doing much for the rest. That's the bit that ought to be automated anyway. Those with computer access could pick something from a grid, as long as those without computer access aren't disenfranchised. That'd be even more convenient for same-day cancellations, as the options would be visible to the patient. The kind of system I'm suggesting was functional 15 years ago. And before that, you could leave an appointment agreeing when the next appointment will be, because it probably didn't solve everything and it's best to check back. But this is scarcity by design, though also by scarcity. The scarcity informed the design justifies the scarcity. Incidentally, the place I go to is the secondary branch. They would much prefer to send me to its main place, but I struggle to get there. Bus services are about as good as the health service, but when there are only appointments available there, I try it. In that building, they actually bother to have staff and take appointments past 1 p.m. I guess this is a result of what used to be two competent services combining and deciding they don't need both, or competence. I've got a lot to get answered medically, so it's convenient to be able to go speak to someone who'll try to find a reason not to give me an appointment with someone who'll dismiss me, then I try again and eventually get someone else who'll misrefer me, and then try again and finally get through to the doctor who understands me enough to say there's nothing they can do to help. What I've just mentioned was Tuesday. I tried again on Wednesday and they said to call the next day. I tried again on Thursday and managed to get an appointment for the following Thursday, so I look forward to being dismissed then. 3 days attempts for one eventual approval is about standard now. I don't know why an appointment only rose on the horizon a week in advance. I don't know which doctor it's with. We used to be assigned to one GP for the idea of consistency, then others only when they're not available, so we don't have to explain ourselves from scratch much. We're now assigned a GP just for show, like an executive producer role in Your Downfall. I'm not sure I've met the one I've been ascribed. It just shouldn't have to have this competitive, hurried aspect. It's a system designed for a smaller population, and cutbacks are undertaken with the Jenga philosophy of, is it still something we can pretend is working if we remove this part? Yep. That part has to go. I've been referred to waiting lists that are no longer accepting patients, that are full. Like the phone thing again, considering the established practice of waiting for years and years, why would a waiting list have a maximum? Is it like when you scroll to the very last row of Microsoft Excel? If they're not accepting anyone new and they tell it to everyone who's referred, then whoever's lucky enough to be referred when they clear this status, because someone died, will get first dibs at being last in the list. I'm joking, they're not going to clear this status. It's a holistic frustration, and it's so hard to express because of all its details. The flaws are so systemic that only revolution could fix them. And this is the first world country version, the idea of nationalized free healthcare that we ought to take pride in, but that's been running on empty for decades, so we end up disdaining it and might not mind all that much when it gets removed. It'd barely be any different.